What's up, guys? Welcome back to Simply FPL. Today we're going to talk about template teams for the blank game week in week 18 and the double game week in week 19. Before we get started, this is actually the fourth time I'm trying to film this. I keep messing up the description of what's going on in game week 18 and 19. So for once, I've made a few notes. So if you're seeing this is the final time I'm recording it. Before we get into that, though, quick announcement. I actually started a Discord channel there 3 days ago. So the link's in the description, as well as what is a Discord. I'm not even going to try and explain in this video. So it's free to join. Click the link below, and we can all chat about fantasy football and our teams actually in a live chat rather than the YouTube comments. So what is the purpose of this video? What's happening in game week 18, game week 19, if you don't know? So basically what happened the other day was there was an announcement of fixtures. So in game week 18, there's only going to be 5 fixtures. And then in game week 19, there's going to be 15. So if you're new to fantasy football, what that means is you've got an opportunity to basically get more games out of the 2 game weeks by having some players in game week 18 and then as many players as you can in game week 19. Now, since fantasy football introduced the new chips, so the bench boost, the free hit, and the treble captain, it makes it a bit easier to navigate that. So specifically, I think the free hit chip is going to become useful for 95% of players in game week 18 and 19. Why it's a good thing to use. So in game week 18, basically the team you've got right now can only play 2 games in total in game week 18, game week 19. Maybe they'll play 0 in 18 and 2 in 19, or 1 in each. So what you can do is you can try and load up of players in game week 18 and then change them all in game week 19, basically allowing you to maximize how many games you play in those two fixtures. The free hit helps because you can have one team in game week 18, let's say, that has no players playing in game week 19. You can free hit into game week 19, pick a brand new team, and then by game week 20, your team's back to normal. So it's as simple as that. And I guess the main question is, should we use the free hit in game week 18, or should I use the free hit in game week 19? To answer that question, you just need to look at your team right now. If you've got more players playing in game week 18 than have double game week fixtures in 19, you should use your free hit for game week 19. And if you've got more players playing the double game weeks and very few players playing the blank in game week 18, you should use your free hit in game week 18. So I think I've done an okay job at explaining that, but it is a little complicated trying to explain it. So do feel free to ask questions in the comments below, and I'll try and answer as many as I can. But in essence, what we're going to go through now is, if you could pick your best team in 18 or 19 based on the free hit, what players should you pick? And also, what strategy should you use to pick the players? Because it's all right me saying to you, here's 15 players you should pick. But we're not all going to pick the same players. So I guess we're going to go through as well the thought process when picking the team. Which way you should be thinking when deciding which players to give you the maximum amount of return for game week 18 and game week 19. Right, that was a 3.5 minute explanation of what we're about to go through. This might be a slightly longer video than normal, but I think it'll help quite a lot of people. So let's crack straight into it, shall we? So here we are, game week 18. These are the fixtures. So we've only got 5 fixtures, and some of them are a bit hard to kind of decide which players you should have. Like, look at Sheffield United against Newcastle. It's like, how do you know, should you have any of these players? Should you have 3 from each team? It's impossible to kind of know. So those are the 5 fixtures. And I guess the main thing you want to realize is, because you're basically picking a brand new team right before the game week starts, you're almost certainly only going to use your 11. You probably won't need any subs. So for a blank game week, it's worth having maybe 1 sub just in case one of your players last minute doesn't play. But other than that, you should try and put all of your money into the 11 players that you're going to play. So here's what you should do first. First of all, pick 4 players that are basically the cheapest players in the game who might get game time if it's needed. Because ultimately, these are going to be your bench fodder. They're probably not going to be involved whatsoever. So you don't really want to... put any money into them. So for the purpose of this, we've got Lewis for Newcastle, who he's really, really cheap, but also there's a chance he might get a game, so he's going to be your playing sub. And then the same with Burke. He's the cheapest midfielder in the game, but he's also likely to play against Newcastle. So those are the 2 lads. But for the purpose of this, we're going to assume these 4 are not playing, so we've now got to pick 11 players that we think will play, which can consume the rest of the budget. So cross off those 4 players because we're not going to really use them, and then look at the fixtures. So for those fixtures, to me, the teams you want to load up on are Man City and Spurs. So the first thing you want to do in your blank game week free hit template is put all your money into the big players, which will then allow you to decide how much money you've got left to spread around, because you don't want to pick a few other players and then struggle to fit in your premiums. With your free hit, you want all your money into your premiums. So those are the main priority with a blank game week, which is slightly different to the double game week, but with the blank game week, that's the way you want to do it. So here's what we're going to do. 3 City players, 2 Tottenham players. Now, look, I know City are not playing very well. Tottenham don't score a massive amount of goals, but this is just one game week only. Like, you don't have to keep this team long term, so you really want to load up on where the best chance of points is. For me, these are the guys. So we're going to go Sterling, De Bruyne for City in midfield, and then 1 City defender, Cancelo, who's only been dropped once in like the last 10 games, so he's as nailed on as you can really get in a Pep Guardiola team. And then we're going to supplement that with 2 Tottenham players. So I'm not going to put in a Tottenham defender because there's a good chance they don't keep a clean sheet. But Son and Kane, pretty much guaranteed to play. Hopefully they'll get some points. So we're gonna add those 2 in there basically. After that then, so we've got 6 spots and we just want to pick the rest. So we're going to put in the Newcastle goalkeeper because I think of all the goalkeepers we've got potential on, and again, we're not using a City goalkeeper because we've already got 3 City players. It's probably Newcastle. So I'm going to put in Darlow against Sheffield United. Then going to pick some premium defenders. So the beauty of a free hit chip is that you don't need to go cheap on defense because the gap between a cheap defender and a premium defender is usually not that much. So we're going to put in Van Aanholt for Crystal Palace, mainly attacking the Arsenal team, which are playing terribly at the moment and not keeping clean sheets. Arsenal have only scored 4 in the last 10 games. I think picking a Palace attacking defender is not the worst move. So Van Aanholt's in there. Then we're going to double up on Everton defenders. Wolves, again, their attack has been terrible. And Keane and Mina are a goal threat. Like, we've just seen Mina score there against Arsenal. So that's where our back 4 are coming from. Grealish is then the obvious guy to lob in. I know it's against Spurs, but 7.7 million is one of the bargain players in the game. And I think there's a good chance he gets points against Spurs. And finally, Dominic Calvert-Lewandowski. No team's going to be complete without him. And look, we're targeting that Wolves backline. Like, Wolves are not having a good season. So that's the template team for me as it stands. So look, it's like what? We're still in game week 14 at the moment. So like plenty could happen between now and when game week 18 happens. But that's my thought process behind how I would pick a free hit team. And that's the team I'd arrive at if I had to do it today. So game week 19. This is where it gets a bit fun. So for me, I've got 6 players at the moment playing in game week 18. So I'm going to add a player each game week until game week 18, leaving me with between 9 and 10 players in that week. And I'm going to use my free hit in the double game week. Again, I could talk at length why I think the free hit is more useful in the double game week than the blank game week. But again, I spent about half an hour talking about that in the live stream there the other day. So if you want more information on that, check my last video out. So these are the fixtures. So the double game week starts with West Ham against West Brom. And then it's the 4 fixtures below that. So the 5 fixtures there. So what we're going to do first of all, and you should do this before you even look at which players to pick, is target the games or pick the games you want to target. So for me, this is them. So we're targeting Fulham first of all. So Chelsea and United have Fulham. So we'll put a square around them. And then I've just highlighted double West Ham and double Leeds fixtures. They seem to have... I reckon Leeds and West Ham are going to get some really good points back, and it's helpful because they have the cheaper players, so that's important to note. Liverpool against United, I think Liverpool attack could get quite a lot of points there, and also Liverpool against Burnley, so I think they're going to get a lot of attack points there. So in those squares are the teams that I think we should target, and on the right-hand side, just below me there are the teams. So this template team is going to be made up of basically those 4 or 5 teams. So same thing as the last team for free hit 18, sorry. But not as important to have playing bench players in the double game week because you're almost certainly going to have a player playing in one of them. So you're very rarely with your free hit in a double game week would even use your bench. So literally pick the 4 cheapest players you can get. And if you can find one that plays like Burke, like Brewster, then happy days. So these are the 4 lads we're putting in as the bench fodder. Never going to look at them again, and they're not going to block us from picking any of the teams above. Next, this time you want to target your cheaper players. Now, the reason we're doing that is because in the double game week, we really want to maximize the premiums. And also in this double game week, West Ham and Leeds have easier fixtures. So we kind of want to load up on West Ham and Leeds players. And that allows us to have more money left over for the premiums. So for me, like, I'm getting 3 West Ham players. We're assuming Antonio's fit. I think clean sheet wise against West Brom and Burnley, like, you're not going to have better fixtures really. So I'm going to put their goalkeeper in and also one of their defenders. Cresswell, very attacking, can also get attacking returns. And Antonio up front, 6.2 million. Double game week against 2 really poor teams. I'm going to put those 3 in, and that's going to free up cash elsewhere, similar to Leeds. So I'm not going to get 3 Leeds players because, to be honest, I don't think there's 3 Leeds players that really guaranteed returns. Bamford and Dallas, really, for me. So Bamford up top, obvious one. He's on the end of all the chances they create. Leeds are incredibly attacking team. And Dallas, like, some of the games he literally plays number 10. He just stands up front. So yeah, he's going to be in my team. If he gets clean sheet points, happy days. If he gets attacking returns, happy days. So what we've got here is we've already picked 9 players and we've spent very little money. So that's going to allow us to really spend big money on the big premiums. So which team there do you think we're going to target the most? For me, it's Liverpool. Salah, Robertson. Sorry, we'll skip to the next slide because I actually messed up where I put the question marks. So Salah, Robertson, and Mane. So those 3 lads for me, they're nailed. They have to be in the team. So those are the 3 lads we're going to put in. You could argue and put Trent Alexander-Arnold in instead of Mane, but I think for these fixtures, you're going to want the double midfield attack. I just think you're going to get more points that way. So those 3 for me are nailed in. Then we're going to put in the United midfielders. So we're really targeting Fulham rather than Liverpool. But Liverpool, they've not kept a huge amount of clean sheets recently. So, look, you might get returns there as well. Either way, it's Fernandes and Rashford for me. 10.8 million, 9.5 million. I'd be surprised if we don't get returns on that. And the final token Chelsea player, Kurt Zuma. Again, it's not like I'm not expecting Zuma to get absolutely like gigantic returns from this, but they've got Leicester and Fulham away. So yeah, we're hoping we'll get a clean sheet against Fulham, and Zuma's scoring a lot of headers. So like we might get an attack in return there as well. So yeah, that's the template team for game week 19. If I had to use my free hit right now, that's what I'd be using it on. This is the exact team I'd go for. Now, I appreciate some people might not have budget for this exact team. I can afford it. But if you can't, you could just, again, replace like Zuma with a James, Cresswell with a Soufal. There's many kind of exceptions you can make to kind of get around this template. So yeah, I appreciate that was a fast-paced video. We've covered quite a lot. Yeah, so let me know what your thoughts are. I'm sure there's loads of questions about that. Pop them in the comments below. And yeah, I'm sure we'll have more content as we come to game week 18, game week 19. But I know a lot of people are kind of planning for it now, so that might help a lot of you. So as I mentioned at the beginning, join the Discord. The link will be down below. We'll try and get this Discord as big as possible. As ever, everything's going to be completely free. There'll be no charging for patrons or anything like that to get in. Yeah, and that's that. I might have another video up either Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll have the team reveal right before Christmas. So, yeah, take it easy, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video.